Jai Durga, come on, mother. Hari Ram Swamiji. Om Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayane Namastude. Om Antarjyotir Bahir Jyoti Pratyak Jyoti Paratpara Jyotir Jyoti Swayam Jyoti Atma Jyoti Shivosmyaham. Jai Durga, come on, mother. Okay, I get you. Okay. Today we really start the Yoga Vasishtha. Let us see what Vasishtha has to say. Yeah, he is a mine of wisdom. Yeah, Vasishtha is just wisdom, jnana ghana, solidified knowledge. Vasishtha uvacha swapaurushena svadiya satsangama vikasaya yadi naniyate jnatvam tadupayosti netaraha. What a beauty. He says, swapaurushena, with your own self-effort, and svadiya, with your own mind. Satsangama vikasaya, satsanga, in association with somebody who knows. Vikasaya, because of that your mind becomes expanded. Yadi naniyate jnatvam, if you don't get wisdom, if it doesn't lead you to wisdom, tadupayosti netara, there is no way I can help you in any other way. If you won't get it with your own mind, after being associated with a wise person, I don't think there is any other way out. God bless. We can close the session. Yeah, we keep continuing. He says, better you guys leave the hall. There is no need to listen to me. Yeah, you have to use, what he is trying to stress is, you have to use your brain. Hum sun liya, I have heard it, it won't help. You have to think, you have to do things. Then it will help you see. Because brain keeps working all the time. Yeah, even when you don't pay attention. Like, I had, this morning I thought there was some, if I had to edit yesterday's talk, there were two things my brain put it out. Like when I said, of that planetarium show. And when I said, oh, this is computer that keeps on revolving, it's not a computer, it's a satellite dish. There's a satellite dish with its antenna, it's going on around, you see. And this was about 40 years ago. I had seen this show, you see. It's 1980s. That's the time I had seen the show. Now it has been about 43 years. But the brain, it said, no, it was insufficient data for a reasonable answer. That is what that was going on. It is my Indian brain that said insufficient information. I had to say something. But actual thing, because Westerners, when they speak, it's very precise. Insufficient data for a reasonable answer. It is so nice, that sentence. And when I was talking of a guide who takes you to the museums, it is Dosan. Dosan is the guide who takes you and speaks. So, but the brain, I said, I don't know. But then, it finds it out, you see. Oh, okay, it's a Dosan. It's an unbelievable friend that you have. If you just give the information, it will help you see. So if you think about what we hear, the brain will keep working because you have got to do other works. But this will keep on working and it will refine the wisdom that you have learned, or what is applicable to you. Because what it does is, there are so many things that we speak which you don't need. But what you need, it will process. That's what it does, you see. Your brain is brilliant because it's God alone that works as your brain, you see. Yeah, there is nobody else. It is God alone who helps you through your brain, you see. Swabuddhya. So he says, there is no other way out except your own brain processing what you hear. That's what actually, in my life, whatever I have seen, when we experience life, normally we experience life and forget about it. But no, if you ruminate over it, what the lesson you had to learn from it, man, life has been fruitful. Because I was reading somewhere, let me see if I remember it. He was telling, there are two things that teach you here, life and time. Time teaches you, I forgot, I most probably tomorrow I have to come and tell it. Time teaches you what life is. Life teaches you how to use time. And I thought, that is so brilliant because time teaches, because life keeps going. Time teaches what life is, it is passing, it is flowing. And what life will teach? How to use time. Because, and I thought, oh man, this is brilliant. So when we experience things, you should spend time over it. Like most of the time in my life, I have been just living plain, honestly in the world. But normally you deny, or you always look down on the world. This is not going to teach you anything. If you want to learn something, you go somewhere else. This has been our teaching. Somewhere we have to go and learn. You don't. But the world is trying to teach you all the time. It's a life is an eternal teacher. And the experience, whatever I had, most of the time, I would spend on that experience for the whole year. Year, 2 years, I'll be obsessed with that particular thing. Yeah, then only you get the information that you really need. Like, when previously I would read the books, Upanishads we would read. And in Upanishad, what he would do in most of the teachers, a rishi, when the disciple goes and, "Oh Lord, I want to see what is God, please teach me." And he says, "Okay." He will just tell you one sentence, you see. He says, "What is God?" Okay, God is that from which all these things have come out, that in which it is sustained, and that in it will dissolve. This is Brahman, Tad Brahma, Tad Upasyasva, Tad Vijijñāsasva. Try to know that. Goodbye. He won't tell a second sentence. The class is finished. And this guy goes away to the forest for a year. And I thought, this book is like a joke. He just tells a sentence and the disciple disappears for a year. He will come only after a year. What was he thinking? Just that one sentence. See. He won't tell you more. Similar thing. Actually, my life was like that, thanks to God. I have some experience will be there. I will ruminate over it. For others, it may be ridiculous. Like, for example, when I talk about sunlight, I have lived in that sentence for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, just that sentence, yeah. Till it has to become real. Now, for us, things are not digested. It's just like a food that we eat and pass it away, you see. Not that you digest it and it has become your body, you see. Once it becomes your body, it is not getting out, you see. It becomes yours. It is your stamina. It's your energy. To make that happen, of course, for me, it took a few years. I think even now, I get excited about the sunlight. Yes. Just that for others, it may look, that is, every time we come, he just says only one sentence, sunlight, sunlight, sunlight. People get sick of the sunlight. Whereas for me, it is an excitement, yes, because that has been it has been a help for me to recognize the presence of God, you see. Because all this book is trying to tell is make you recognize the presence of God, which is absent for us. It's an absence. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the presence of this being. And what is ignorance is the absence of this being here. And now, these are the two things that are making us a problem, the time. Here and now. We say we will get God. When? Later. Not now. No, we are not going to get God now. No. We will get only later. But this thing has to disappear from our brain, you see. the location of God somewhere else. इधर नहीं है, उधर है. It is not here, it is there. And that there could be somewhere which God alone knows, you see. But what has to disappear from our brain in context with God is this location of space. Because space is a reality for us, you see. It is the space alone that is separating me and all of us, or me and God, you see. And time, if by chance you solve the riddle of space, time, you will see God after death. This was the easy way for religions and people to make us not feel too bad. Once you die, you will see God, you see. So till you die, don't worry, you can have a good time or a bad time. Forget about this being, because it won't be available for you now and here. But the wisdom of these sages was just to get rid of these two notions from our brain, yes. That it is not here and it is not now. If these two you can dismiss it from your brain, God comes here. Not comes here, it is present. That absence goes away, you see. Then you become like Prahalada. What was Prahalada's greatness was, it was nothing. He just did not have there and afterwards. These two were not there with reference to God. There and after. For him it was here and now. That is where, when his father accosted him, you see, he is, when he said, Vishnu, I am praising, he is everywhere. And straight a question from Hiranyakashipu, his father was, is he here and now in my palace? Huh? Where did he come? Man, how did all my centuries, gods, allow this guy to come in? Is he here and now? If he had asked us, we would be shuddering. How can I tell he is here? I see only pillars and mountains and rivers. It is not here. No, that was not there in Prahalada's brain. It is here and now. So when he says, this pillar, is he here? He says, yes, Father, he is here. And then once your brain was free to accept it completely, without any ifs and buts, because this is what we have, we also accept it. But there are lots of ifs and many, many buts, but he doesn't come and show. And if he comes, let us see. But these two, just the prepositions, if and but, must not be there. And that's what Prahalada had. They were not there to block the manifestation of the Supreme, you see. Because what makes God feel absent is not because he can go away somewhere. No, he cannot go, because it's ever present, it's an omnipresence. Votaf protascha vibhuh prajasu. It is warp and woof woven into your entire cosmos, you see. So, moment he did not have anything in his brain to block. It's just like, electricity. It's all just our own current to pass through, you see. We block it in our own circuits. But when it is not there, God had to manifest whatever form he had to take. So he may become a man lion or he may become a woman tiger. I don't know what he would become. But whatever it is, Prahalada, when he said it is, yes, Father, he is here. That very moment when Hiranyakashipu kicks the pillar, he was so strong, the pillar just falls apart, you see. And then Vishnu had to manifest, you see. God has to show himself, because he had to respond to this devotee's acceptance. It is our acceptance that makes God's presence. Get this, you see, God's absence is because you don't accept, we doubt. We doubt. First we doubt his very existence. है या नहीं है, इसी में पहले तकलीफ है. Yeah, we have our very first thing is whether this entity is there at all, or it is just an imagination, a concoction of the brain of those who are disappointed and suffering. And because they don't have any other valid source of feedback to inspire them, have them conjured up this imaginary being called God. And am I following this blind path where there may not be anything, you see? And when we say, most of the time, when you are talking to intelligent beings, the moment you deny God, it may not be there. They all feel how intelligent you are. Isn't it? If you talk to a smart person and if you say God is, he knows immediately this fellow is dumb. Don't talk to him anymore, you see, because if he can believe God, which nobody has seen. No, this is the greatest enigma, you see. Nobody has seen a being, and that's what he's talking about, and you believe this guy. I don't know whether he has any brain. So, smart people won't care for you. It's only dumb people when you say, God is, they say, oh, he believes. Maybe he knows more. But actually that fellow also doesn't know more. None of us know more about God than you or any one of the other beings do. We know God as much as you do. We don't know God as much as you don't know. This is a given. But if you follow this, first thing is that very existence, mind doubts, you see. Not doubts, mind knows it doesn't exist. So that's first clearance. To know this acceptance is to bulldoze that doubt, you see. And where things help, that is when your questioning pattern changes. instead of asking, does God exist? The question has to be changed. It has to be a different way of putting it out. Yes. Many times the sentences make a lot of difference. What does exist here? You know, you see, hey, everything is here. But what is it that exists? And if you try to analyze and find out what exists, if you find anything at all, if you find something that exists, that was what they called it as God, because they did not know what else to call. They had to call something, if anything exists. So first, suppose the Rishi told, find out what exists, come back to me. The disciple would disappear for 10 years, 12 years, to find out what really exists. Because nothing, he says, whatever I see, I don't know, I come tomorrow, it is not there. Or I will see, oh, this heat and light is there. Suddenly a cloud comes, it disappears. So, and I see the nice rose flower. I come after 2 days, the flower is gone. So, does it exist? Whatever you see, you know, like when we see this place, you know, like when we come to Premanand's ashram and we see these buildings and other things, and we know, oh, Premanand's ashram, we have these buildings, this exists. But I have come here 20 years, 30 years before. When I came here, I never saw these buildings. We had little 3 rooms here, and that, you know, where this Krishna's temple is, it was not there. There was this, it was very beautiful and romantic. There was this tree, and underneath was this Radha and Krishna. It was so pretty. There was no shelter for him, yes, but he looked so nice. And these 3 buildings, 3 rooms, which Premanand himself must have built, because he did not used to have masons, of course. Somebody would be helping, but he would put stones and mud and all these things and make that building, you see. Because we would see when we came, we would be eating, you know, evening we turn on the light, because at that time light had come. The moment you turn on the lights, ants would just fall down from, I don't know from where, but we were sitting there, the storms of ants. Because what happens, wherever this light socket was, it is all mud, so there is a hole, it's all filled up with ants, ant hills inside, I think. So they would just, when the light came, they say, something is happening. Some roti dal chal raha hai. There is some food there, you see. Everyone wants to eat. Not only we were sitting there for eating, ants, they say, man, it's very nice, abhi bandara chal raha hai. We will have more. So they would all come in, you know. But that was, we never saw these buildings. And now if I said that was there, and when I look now, that was there, that is not here. Now I have to imagine, even that is very difficult to imagine what was there. I don't know whether we had any pictures of that which I could see. So, should I say that was there? Or this is now, what is present now is? Because this is was not present 30 years ago. And this is may not be present given the place that we are living in, Uttarkashi, land of earthquakes. Yeah, within these 3-5 years that I have been there, I have seen this earth shake up and rattle. And then bang, you can hear the plates and that. And I think, oh, are they blasting and constructing the road? No, there was no blasting. It was these platelets, the earth platelets. And God knows how long this place would exist. Hope it exists for a long time, because it's a shelter for many. It's an oasis. So may it stay as long as God wants. But this is may become a was. That was becomes is and is becomes was. So what is it that exists? Do they exist? They disappear. They appeared, when they said, all these things, if you go in detail thinking, not that one or two sentences, but each object, if you spend time, because the mind takes time to understand, really. It is smart, but it takes time. It's just like nature. Nature's evolution is a very slow process. Yeah, just to make a stone, God has taken billions of years. You just think it's a stone. But just to make that granite rock, how much God spends time. He has spent all the time since creation just to make a rock. Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. He has to press. Just like you make roti, you make dough, and you knead it. God has, each stone, it takes a lot of kneading. He has to bring an elephant and sit on its head and compress it, or a dinosaur, or some heavyweight thing, and compress it. And slowly that mud becomes a rock, you see. Mud, you can just throw it. This rock, to make it into dust, you have to use all sorts of chisels and spend a lot of time, maybe your whole life, just chiseling a rock to make it into a dust stage. What he took billions of years, you will also take millions of years to make it dusty and disappear. So what happens, because what is happening in this process of thinking for myself is, we have heard the Vedantic description that this is an appearance. But till now for me it's very difficult to make it understand, and it really is. Put it in the brain that this is an appearance. But when I'm talking to you, this helps because most of the talks when we speak, it is not for the listeners. When you talk, your brain will understand little better, you see. That's why they say, a writing makes a perfect man. Suppose you have knowledge. When you speak, that knowledge becomes little more clear. You become wise. But when you really write it, it will become perfect. Because when you write, you have to really think and do it. So even so, when we talk, like when I am talking, this idea of appearance is becoming little more clear in my own brain, yes. Because whenever we would talk about this Vedantic appearance, it looks like a big baloney, just a talk, a philosopher's talk, yes. A Vasistha who has lost his head, telling, all this is just an appearance, it doesn't exist. But when I was just thinking about this ashram, and I thought, what can I call as real? What can I call as real? Because reality is synonymous with existence. Existence, what exists, is what you call as real. What is unreal means this book is not here. This book doesn't exist. So when I talk about the book that's here, I'm talking about unreality. So do you get this? These are all little things. But if these little things become okay in our brain, we get this wisdom. Yes. This God will be at our door. Yes. Just that little things that are not very clear in our own brain circuits. So it is, though it has the information, it is not becoming real. It is still a doubt in my own brain, you see. Brain says, no, it doesn't really look like that, though it looks very reasonable talk, but I doubt it. And that's what keeping the God away, you see. Like when I was, this really, when that, especially that Radha Krishna's temple. And I remember that, when afterwards they had built, when I came in my next trip, I thought, oh my God, I lost my temple. That temple was so nice, just these two dolls, just these two idols standing under a tree. That was really like Radha Krishna, What you see in pictures, Radha Krishna you don't see in a temple. Usually you will see there is a tree, there is a cow grazing, and this Krishna and Radha they are standing under the tree, and he himself with his twisted body, he also doesn't stand straight. He is as weird as a tree. And she is also, both of them are standing under a tree. And that's how exactly it was, the temple. Yeah, and it was just a platform was there, so you could keep some light or some things. And even in front there was even as it is, we have that bench-like thing that was just there. And in front was this building. When I think about that, that has disappeared. Similar, when you just think of that and you think you have solved the problem, why I am trying to tell this is, these years of meditations, what these disciples did, it was not a joke, it was not just written so that you will listen to it, because next chapter he comes and again he will ask, Varnam Pitaram Upasasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. He comes, oh Father, please teach me Brahman. And he says, man, you took 2 years and came back and you did not learn. He says, no. And he will tell him another sentence and sends him away for another couple of years. Because like when I was just talking about this ashram, I remember my own experience in States. This was in New Jersey, near New York. I used to live in somebody's home who had their own office, big office, and their own business. And afterwards, after a few years, and as I had seen there, and I had gone many times there to that office, and people, I wish they had not sold the business. They would have kept the business. But people try to sell the business. As you keep growing, you want to do different things or you don't want to do anything. So you sell the business. So they sold the business to somebody else. And that fellow ran it for a few years, and he's not going to keep it too. You improve a little bit more, so you can make some more millions of dollars, and you sell it away. He did not sell it to another business guy. The county, the city bought the building, because they needed parking lots. City did not care for the building, because building is a building, business is something else that is there, done by people. These are all, I don't know what is real. Even the business, when you say, these people, and when another business buys this business, I always wish they would keep those people. Yeah, because these are the guys who built the business. They would just for namesake, they would keep for any year so that people don't feel too bad. But after a year, that is dissolved. What was that business that these guys were doing, these 10 or 20 guys? What were they doing that was worth millions of dollars? Because this guy bought it and just sold it away. Isn't it? It's this reality business. What does really exist? When you think, are they just tricking us? Yeah. Like when you really, why I'm talking is, these are the ways that you have to think for years to make the brain break the rock. Our brain has this big granite, that this universe is a very solid granite structure. Yeah, it is very real. When it hits, you know it. Now, when I throw a rock, normally if you tell somebody this is an appearance, what he will do, he will just take a rock, a small pebble, he goes behind you and throws it on your head. Oh, what happened? No, it's an appearance. No, it's not an appearance. It's very real, man. I am bleeding. Let us go to the district hospital, or let us call Panda. Isn't it? So this is a granite rock, because this actually happens. Like there was one Swami in our ashram. I don't know whether you had seen Paripurnanand when you were there. Paripurna. He was always, I am that. Whatever it is, I am that. And of course, people, and we are also staying in this ashram. We also have heard Swami Shivananda say, you are that. And where is this guy become special? I am that. But whatever we would do to Paripurnanand, he would not change it. He would always say, I am that. And I don't know whether it is Shanmuganand or some other Swami. You get irritated when I have also stayed with Swami Shivananda for 25 years. What you are, I am that. I am also that. But they won't say I am that because they are afraid to say it. Yeah. For Paripurnanand, it was his blood. For others, when we say I am that, it's a sentence we have heard or I have read in a book. It is not in your brain. It is just borrowed. It hasn't become yours. But Paripurnananda was, I am that. And this was in the Langar kitchen. And he said, hey Paripurna, how are you? I am that. And it's a wrong place, All hot things are there, and the chula, and the fire is burning, and all this. He took some hot water. Punchwala, he took the hot water and threw it on him, on his hand. He said, I am that. Okay, but of course it's a hot water, and you will have blisters and boils and other things. But after some time you become okay. What I am trying to say is, a stone somebody would throw, it happens. If you say, I am that, to prove that this is not that, this is real. But you become that when this becomes an appearance. When this appears, you become that. Because that is the substratum. But this has become a rock. This has been very real. If somebody had thrown water on my hand like that, I would change, and next minute I will tell you, dear Swami, I am this. But Paripurnanand never changed. I am that. Paripurna. Yeah, we lived in his room. Myself and Durganand, we lived in his room. He had a room built behind Vishwanath's temple. That was his room. Huh? That's again the same thing. That it was, it is not now. अभी वैकुंठ हो गया वो. But pehle there were just those two rooms and there was a water tank in front. Because we used to remember, we used to sit on that water tank and meditate. Because we had a mantra Swami Durganand had given, and he would tell us this mantra should be repeated near water. It is more powerful. So, so actually we will go and sit near Ganges and do it. And then if you want it more powerful, you have to sit in the Ganges. Just like, Swami Shivananda used to stand in the water and do his tapas. But I found, standing was a problem. But we had the steps, a bit of ghats, there were built some ghats. So this was very helpful. When the Ganges comes on the ghats, you could sit on a step, and up to this you will be in water. It is like standing. So this was very helpful, just to sit there, because there was one slab that was, the first one that goes into Ganges was this long, and then of course steps. So if you sit here, it is just like a seat, nice seat, and you sit there. I remember once Swami Vimalanand, he was up there, and he was not a Swami at that time. He said, "Oh, Atmanand, there is a snake there." And I was sitting. There were some snakes in the water or something. But of course, it went away, so I did not open my eyes. But when I used to sit there, it was fun, because at that time we did not have the jula. There was no bridge. So to cross over, either you have to go all the way to Lakshman Jula and cross over towards Svargashram and Paramartha Niketan, or else the Svargashram had boats, and Gita Ashram also had one boat, I think. It was all hand paddled, you say. It's not motor boats, they were all paddled. And they were strong, man. Even in flood, these boats would come, you see. He would go all the way from there, and they would paddle and come. And sometimes they purposely are, of course, you cannot help when he's rowing the boat, the current keeps dragging. I will be sitting there, he will just come. If I'm sitting here, the boat will just come and stop there. And all the people, they're all just going all around you see, because they have to get out of the boat. Of course, we would just sit, because Swami Durgananda said, no, when you sit, you just sit. You are taken care of by what he used to call Dharma Devata. That is a deity. There is a divinity that is expected to take care of you when you sit. It is its responsibility. If anything happens to this guy, that divinity would be kicked in the butts. Oh, yes. That's where, when they say Yamaraja, when the god of death comes, he won't care, you see. You may be just, coffee has come up to the lips. I have to just gulp it. He says, no, it's time. He will just knock the cup out of your hand. Man, that coffee you could never taste. You had to go away, you see. It would not wait. Dharma Devata, you say. But even so, when you sit, this is very alive place. It's very difficult to know because we don't see it. It's filled with astral beings and divine beings. Yes. There is a very living entity. Yeah, this whole cosmos is very living and very divine. Yeah, it is. That's what Prahalada got his hands on. That's where they could throw him up from the cliff. No, he would be protected, you see. Some hand would come and hold him, you see. Yeah, because it really happens. Actually, once this was in a car accident in States, in a highway. And in the front seat, somebody, most probably they did not have the belt. Because nowadays it's a mandatory, you see. If you don't have the belt, they can give you a ticket, you see. The cops can give you tickets. But previously, or even when they have it, people, they don't, because cops are not always looking. We don't enforce it. But when you get into the accident, she was really thrown out of the car, you see, because we are going at 70 miles per hour and you are having an accident. Because this was, we knew, because when she, after recovery and everything, when she went to a counselor and she was talking, and when she said what happened, how did you stay alive after that such a bad accident? And she was thrown. She says, some hand picked me up before I fell on the ground. Yes. Because she never says, we don't know whose hand it is. And then, of course, she is there. Afterwards, cops and ambulance come and pick her up, and she is treated. And after a month or 2 months of being in the hospital, she has recovered, you see. But when you see these things happen even now. So if Prahalada, when he was thrown by the cliff, and we read in the books that he was saved, Vishnu came and held him or something, we may think it's a cockamamie story, but no, it could be very real. Even when I say it could be very real, God will be laughing. He says, no, that sentence is wrong. It was real and it is real. He really held him, yes, because his mind did not have a block. So this granite idea that we have, it's an idea. That idea is granite. This world is very solid, is an idea. And that when I can melt it with some solvent, which we call as wisdom, which is actually the acceptance of the presence of God. That is the only thing that's a solvent that can make this a solution, or where it can dissolve this cosmos. And when you get it, God becomes a presence. Most probably we will continue next time dealing with this appearance and disappearance of this universe. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Jai Durga, this is for you. Om Parabrahma Paramatmane Namo Namah. Yata Shakti Veda Parayanam Samarpayami. Om